We only got a preliminary diagnosis after he came out of their previous game, but now they sound sure about it. Hopefully we see him back on the court in less than a month.
Yeah, and we should. I mean, barring anything unforeseen, you'd expect him to be back in a matter of a few weeks.
A look at the 76ers starting group. Robert Covington out there with Carl Landry. Then it's Noel. Then it's Tony Wroten. And it's Stauskas in at the shooting guard. Here's Young. The rebound by Wroten. On defense, Baltimore. They put up a nice win against the Bucks the last time out.
You know, they played well enough to win, but to be honest with you, I just felt like their opponent's defensive performance was shaky at best.
Yeah, I'd go along with that, Greg. I mean, the game wasn't handed to them, but they definitely didn't have to work as hard for it as they should have. Guys, Bargnani was compared to several other international players when he came out. Some said he was Nowitzki. Others thought he might be more like Yao Ming in terms of impact. Ming was the only other player taken 1 overall who had never played high school or college hoops.
For Baltimore, they've gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Here in the first, a little over a minute played so far. Here's Young. Shot by Jack. Wide open. Again, the miss by Jack.
When he's wide open like that, he'll rarely miss those.
Wroten dishes to Stauskas. He feeds it to Wroten. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle on a lot of contact there. That's going to be on Jarrett Jack. Well, guys, what a nice surprise Tony Wroten was last season. Especially effective taking over at the point, Clark, with Michael Carter-Williams gone.
Yeah, Wroten put up a career-high 5 assists per game and really worked hard at the defensive end as well. He's one of the few talents on the Sixers roster that hadn't been traded away.
And for Wroten last season, he even took on more of a scorer's mentality. Went up in points, went down in field goal percentage. But like a boxer, he gets a little extra credit for pushing the action.
Now, here is Young. He had an 18-point outing in their last game against Milwaukee.
You know, and in watching that game, he did a really nice job of passing the basketball, scoring, and setting up his teammates.
Here's Wroten. Thaddeus Young picking up that last basket. Wroten kicks to Landry. And that's out of bounds. Philadelphia will retain possession.
And, you know, talking about Wroten, I think the next step in his development is to produce at the same level but with greater efficiency. Too often his highlight reel passes led to turnovers. He would gamble defensively, too. That's, to me, just a young player growing up on the job.
Here's Covington. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game. And that one's good. Noel's got his first bucket of the night.
Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie.
Here's Bogdanovich. After the Sixers pick up 2. Here's Johnson. 18 feet away, and he knocks it down.
And boy, did he ever sell the pump fake. Worked to absolute perfection.
If you're just tuning in, we've played about 2.5 minutes here in the first. And that one's good. Wroten. Well, Clark, we've seen the lead change hands quite a bit in this one.
Yeah, we sure have. I mean, it's been a bit of a windshield wiper game. I mean, back and forth, the lead has gone 5 times, so no one in clear control yet.
And guys, I think each team knows they can win this game. Just a matter who can catch that momentum.
No good from Bargnani.
And he thought he had a clear path to the hoop, but the defense didn't give up on that play and cut him off.
There's a screen by Noel. And out of bounds as Baltimore gains possession.
And let's look at some numbers for Jack. He's had an impressive second half of the season. 10th in steals, and he's among the top 20 free throw shooters in the league. Doesn't waste many opportunities at the line.
And talk about highway robbery. I mean, jumping the passing lanes, snatching away your dribble. He'll take it from you.
Now here is Jack. And they get some nice contributions from him on a nightly basis as he averages over 11 points a game. Well, the plan has been obvious now, Clark, for a while. The 76ers really loading up on young players, letting them see a lot of minutes, and they're hoping it's going to bear some fruit, as you like to say, coming up.
Exactly, and it will in time because they've accumulated some really nice young talent, Kevin.
Here's Bogdanovich after Carl Landry's bucket. Bogdanovich passes to Jack. Shot clock at 5. Johnson, good.
A good open look, and he splashes home the 3.
For Philadelphia, they've gone 4 of 5 from the field so far. Now Roten. He's been a factor in their offense on most nights with his scoring average at nearly 16 points a game. Covington dishes to Stauskas. Now here's Roten, defended by Jack. Roten, no good. Baltimore has gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. And Young kicks to Johnson. Young sets a screen for Johnson. In the corner, it's Jack. Kicks to Bargnani. Chance there to take the lead. Missing. Roten with it. His last outing, he had 8 points. Here's Covington. Rejected by Bargnani. And that's out of bounds. Philadelphia will retain possession for Baltimore. Hollis Jefferson's checked in for Johnson. Ellington comes in for Bogdanovich. And Shane Larkin subbed in for Jarrett Jack. Philadelphia also making some changes. Joel Embiid, he's checked in for Landry. And it's Isaiah Cannon in for Nick Stauskas. Some changes for Philadelphia. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Nerlens Noel. J.K. Sampson comes in for Robert Covington. And Kendall Marshall subbed in for Tony Roten. It's stolen. And they're moving it up. Marshall with the steal. Pushing it up. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
The defender a little hesitant to offer resistance as he bursts to the hoop.
Young inside. Baines is there.
Boy, I tell you what, guys, he's an extremely strong finisher. I'm surprised he wasn't able to power that through the defense.
To the wing on the left. Marshall passes to Baines. The feed to Cannon. 6 on the shot clock. And Marshall kicks to Sampson. There's Cannon with the 3. Baltimore with the rebound. Their last meeting was in Philadelphia, where they were unable to fight off the 76ers.
And I think they could hold their heads high from that performance, you know, despite the final score being what it was.
I agree with you. I mean, it was a tough game played in a tough environment on the road, and they were in it right until the bitter end, so that's good stuff.
And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
That's his first personal foul.
For Philadelphia, they have converted 1 of 2 free throws so far today.
And the season numbers for them at the line thus far are really poor, something I'm sure they are making a point of emphasis.
And, you know, you don't have to tell them what their free throw numbers are. I mean, they're well aware of it, believe me.
Looking at who's out there now for Baltimore. McCullough's checked in for Bargnani. And it's Karasov in for Young. Here's Hollis Jefferson. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Larkin can't get it to go. The 76ers have gone 5 of 9 from the field here in the first. Here's Sampson. Well-timed pass, and he goes straight to the bucket for the layup.
Almost an impossible shot to block in the post. The defender can't give up that much of a height advantage and expect to contest it.
Hollis Jefferson can't hit.
And honestly, not real happy with the shot selection on that one.
Yeah, clearly a brain fade there. He's got to be a little smarter in his choice making.
Yeah, that's a tough call right there, and really a tough break for the D.
Greg, no problem for me with that call. I mean, he was still sliding right there.
And Baltimore going with a whole new group out there. It's stolen by Johnson. And he lobs it up toward the rim. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Johnson.
76ers ball.
Now let's take a look at the teams that have been holding their opponents to the fewest points in the last 10 games. The 76ers, number 1.
I mean, they've been impressive on the defensive end, and they may have caught a few teams on off nights, but you've got to give them credit. They've made scoring a chore when you look at their opponents. And I feel like there's a reason Joe Johnson has gotten a number of astronomical contracts. It's because he does everything for you. He's like one of those items you buy that touts everything you need, nothing you don't. Well, to me, that's Joe Johnson.
Baltimore with the ball. After the Sixers pick up 2. The basket counts and 1. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it a 3-point play. Clark, when you take a look at Joe Johnson, and if you were on a good team, a team that was contending for a championship, where ideally would you like him to be? Where would you slot him?
I'd put him in that first or second scoring role because he's so good and scores so effortlessly. And at some point, I think he's going to hoist that Larry O'Brien trophy.
Now, here's Marshall. 9-point game his last outing. And it's Baltimore on the break. Here's Jack. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
No question, he got bumped on that shot.
Yeah, the officials didn't need to talk that one over. It was obvious.
And guys, looking at Jarrett Jack, one word comes to mind: professional. I mean, he's as solid as they come. Tough, capable, experienced, and he proved it all again last season.
Talking about Jarrett Jack, he is especially dangerous at the end of the game. Not only does he make great decisions, Clark, he was a top 10 free throw shooter last season.
Yeah, experienced, tough-minded ball handlers and shot makers are always valuable, especially when it's winning time. You know, he's not your typical NBA center in terms of height, guys, but he plays as big as any of them, thanks to his incredible bounceability.
We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And that's on a bounds. Philadelphia will retain possession for Baltimore. McCullough's checked in for Young. Hollis Jefferson comes in for Joe Johnson. And Quincy Miller subbed in for Bogdanovich. We've got 28 seconds left in the first. And Baines kicks to Cannon. Stolen by Bargnani. And here we go with Miller running up the court. No good from Jack.
It has not been an easy quarter for him, at least offensively speaking.
And he banks in the layup. Cannon's got his first points of the night.
Nice work on the inside. Hard to get that one up and over the big fella.
Well, it's not supposed to be easy down there, and a little artistry on the inside helped him make it happen.
And that concludes the first